Back in 1967, there was no such thing as Mirandizing people. You would just threaten to kick their butts or something like that. The Black Panther Party blew up from one organization to 51 different offices in 30 major cities in America. 520 issues of the Black Panther Party newspaper from 1967 to 1980. Danny Glover sold Panther papers like 100 a week. Before there was a such thing as internet, Facebook, or anything like that, you actually had to meet people straight up. A Panther was a person that was well respected in the community. If a Panther needed a place to hide, people in the community hid him because people knew who he was. We were just young people with a lot of energy to change the environment that we live in. The paper started in 1967 and it went to 1980. We used to put out over 350,000 newspapers nationally every week. We had political education classes. We had 2 days a week. If you worked in East Oakland at the East Oakland office, they would have a political education class there. But on Sundays, we would have national political education class at our national office. And we would have party members flying from Chicago, LA, New York, Boston, and in different areas for these political education classes. We read books about Karl Marx, we read books by Che Guevara, Fidel Castro, Mao Zedong, Nkrumah, Lumumba, all successful revolutionaries that we read because we want to know how they did it, how they dealt with problems in the community, you know, what was some of the things they dealt with. And that's how young people are looking at the Panthers today. Well, how did the Panthers deal with hunger? You know, how did the Panthers deal with police brutality? Black Panther Party members with law books, we never hear this, with law books would recite law to the police officer, you know, that they would tell us people to disperse. In the law book it says that you can watch a police, observe a police doing his job, make an arrest if you're 8 to 10 feet away. So when the police try to run people away from a crime scene, we would say, you can stay here, it's legal for you to stay here. You know, you're not interfering with his work. You live here. They don't live here. At that time, having guns was not against the law. Carrying them in the open was not against the law. When I first seen the Panthers, I seen them when they went to Sacramento because the city of Oakland were mad at the Panthers because what we were doing was legal. We was actually following the cops around and reciting law to them. Legacies like that never die. Never die. Way before anybody else thought of it, way before the church ministry started going to churches, the Black Panther Party will provide service, a bus that goes to San Quentin, Soledad, Susanville, Folsom. Every Saturday and Sunday, the bus, we had a big Greyhound bus that was donated to us, and we would take people to visit their loved ones, you know, and we didn't ask people for money to ride the bus, we just asked for donations. And that was the effort to keep the family together. I have an exhibit at this community center called La Peñas, which is right across the street from our old national headquarters. Black Panther Party was a baby. We was a year old at this time. And we used to dress up and have berets, leather coats, and black slacks and blue powdered t-shirts. That was the Black Panther Party uniform. The church bought a brand new ambulance. And Black Panther Party members went to school for 8 to 10 weeks to learn to be technicians in order to keep people alive until we was able to get them to the hospital. Free breakfast program. So each program had 5 people working at the breakfast program. You had 1 or 2 cooks, depending upon how many kids attended that breakfast program. You had 1 person who welcomed the kids in and talked to the kids because not all kids eat the same thing. And then you had the person out front, person who's walking the kids across the street to come to the breakfast program. Very important job. It's a very simple process, but it made a big difference. Women in the Black Panther Party, we were equal. Black Panther Party members brought what they learned from the bigger society into the Black Panther Party. But through that time, we had to educate people on the role of women in the Black Panther Party. You can't call women bitches in the Black Panther Party. You get your butt kicked. It's probably by the women, but by party members. You can't talk bad about women. Women had the same rank or higher rank than you. If they told you to do something, you better do it. You know, and women were very respected in the Black Panther Party. These two sisters, Mrs. Shelley and Mrs. Brenda, and the reason why I have them up is because they actually went to jail for the Black Panther Party. That was like one of the rare times in history you actually have a police officer actually being held accountable for what he did. And the only reason that happened is because of the pressure put on him by the community. Even though he only did 2 years, and Oscar Grant is still dead today, it should serve as an example of what could happen with political pressure put on people. I mean, Oscar Grant was a name sort of like Huey Newton. Everybody knew who Oscar Grant was, you know, just like people knew who Huey was back in the day. Because of the political pressure that was put on the system, they had to do something. And that's how it works in America. The more pressure you put on a situation, something might happen, you know, because nobody's above the power of the people. Seriously, I really believe that. Because change comes when everybody makes up their mind and say, I ain't taking this BS no more. This is over. It's through.